Hi, I'm Barbara Dooley, and I'm here this afternoon with the CEO of ESP, Laura Whitaker. Now, Laura is an amazing woman, a fantastic CEO, but I just kind of thought we might get to know her a little bit better. So we are going to jump in this beautiful Telluride, and we're going to have a little telling ride. Come join us. Okay, Miss Laura.
All righty.
Here we are on our telling ride. So, when we start telling and riding, I want you to be honest.
All right, I'll try.
I was trying to think when I first met you, because I had been involved with ESP many years ago when Martha Wiley
Before
started.
my time.
Right, yeah, I don't even think you were born. But Martha, this was my major in college, the exceptional child. And so when I found out that Martha was working with these kids, I went, I'm in. And so I started volunteering way in the early 70s with Martha, when it was really just a dream. And you have taken Martha's dream and you have made it the most unbelievable reality. And I would just like for people to kind of know how young you were when this was thrown in your lap. Were you 15 or 16?
Something close, pretty close. Well, if you started volunteering in the 70s, then that was before I was born.
Yeah, I knew it was.
So yeah, I was born in 1985. So I was an 18-year-old college student, came over to the University of Georgia from Atlanta, and I heard about ESP through an ex-boyfriend who told me about ESP. He did contribute something to my life, obviously, and he told me about it. And so I was 18 when I started volunteering for ESP. I met Martha. Gosh, I just feel like it was yesterday, the day that I met her. Her red lipstick and her.
I know, but we all back then, and I still wear my red lipstick.
I mean, I think it's I wear red lipstick now. I think it's just like the older you get, the more you wear red lipstick. But really, I mean, I remember it. Mickey Mouse t-shirt, red lipstick.
Yeah.
And she had created this special place called ESP, and I was this 18-year-old stupid college student that just really wanted to make a difference with my time. And, you know, I grew up volunteering. It was very much a way of life for my family. My parents served on boards, and so I just thought, well, that's kind of our hobby. I guess I'll find a place to volunteer. And little did I know it would have, you know, it was going to
change your life,
the course of my life and my family's life and my children's life forever. So I got to know Martha for a year.
And then she died?
She was going through some health challenges, getting testing. My first summer of camp was back in 2004, and I also had some health challenges. So her and I were both going back and forth from Atlanta to Athens, and we kind of bonded over that. And she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the end of that summer and passed away in October. ESP was all in her brain. I mean, we were serving about 50 kids at the time, you know, small operations just during the summer, and then one Saturday a month. And so everyone, I think, just assumed with Martha gone, ESP was also gone too. Yeah. And so we had an amazing girl, Ashley Downs, who took over for a year after me. And I was 19 years old, taking finals over at UGA, and got the phone call that they needed someone to run camp the next summer. So I did what every other stupid 19-year-old would do, and I said, sure.
That's why you're so fabulous. I can do it.
Well, anybody would have said yes at that point. And I didn't know what I didn't know, you know, and I didn't know that I couldn't run an organization, and I didn't know that I'd be a CEO at 19 years old. And I guess 15 years later, 16 years later, I'm still here. So
but Laura, you have taken a group of 50, and you have not only created a huge group of kids that come, but you've built buildings. You're now building a baseball field. How do you get these ideas? What, I mean, do you just stay awake at night figuring out how you can do this?
You know, what I've learned is that I really am an entrepreneur. And so I think if I wasn't doing this, if my path had never intersected with this, I probably would have started several small businesses along the way. But what's cool about it is I get to start businesses and change lives at the same time. And that's a really special place. I feel so lucky to be in the seat that I'm in. And it's really just start with a need. You know, kids need the chance to play ball and to be in a recreational setting. So let's build a ball field. Or they need employment. So let's build Java Joy. Or we have a waiting list. So we need to raise $4 million and build a new building. So it really kind of starts with that need. But I think it goes back to when I was 19. I oftentimes don't look at challenges. I just kind of see the need and say, okay, let's do it. And then, you know, normally I'm pretty quickly hit in the face with all the challenges. But once you commit to it, you just kind of got to go through with it.
But you know, I find it so interesting. You're not only helping these kids, but you're helping their family and their parents. And people don't realize what a blessing this is for a mother to have a place for her child to go and be accepted.
That's right. And that's, I mean, I think as I was 19, and then now that I have 3 children of my own, I have fallen in love with our mission over and over and over again, because I know what it's like for someone to love my child. Like, there's no better gift than for someone to love my child and to pick them up and to hold them and to tell you that they're beautiful and that they're so smart and they're kind. And I think about that from a parent's perspective, that they can't go to many places and get that.
No, they can't, but they get it when they walk in your door.
They do.
And what fascinates me more than ever is people talk about the millennials and how selfish they are and how lazy they are. But when I cross your threshold and I see all the students in there working with these kids, I'm going, people don't understand.
They don't. And if they could see what we see, over 2,000 college students spending their time unpaid every year at ESB, I mean, it's beautiful. It really is. It is something to be seen, and not just doing it. They're not getting paid to do it. They're not, they're not writing it on their resumes. They're there because they want to make a difference too. And I think you're right. I mean, if you want a glimpse of our future and the future leaders, go to ESB, because that's where they're at.
Speaking of the future, you're now in the process of building a baseball field.
We are. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you just dream up these events. What are your goals? Like if I said to you, Laura, what is a goal, say, in 10 years? What would that be?
That's a great question. The first thing that comes to my mind is 10 years from now, a great goal for me would be to have replaced myself. I mean, I feel like any great leader figures out a way for them to exit and for their organization to be just as great, if not greater, when they're gone. And so I think that would be a great goal. Camp Hooray is on the horizon.
Talk about Camp Hooray.
We want to build a camp where kids in wheelchairs can sleep on the top bunk one day. Can you imagine Matthew sleeping on the top bunk?
No.
I mean, it's a rite of passage. Going to camp, sleeping
on the top bunk.
When I was 8, my parents, I would make them get there early. At camp, I wanted to be the first one there because I wanted to claim my top bunk.
That's right.
And, if you have a mobility challenge, you've never had that opportunity. You go to hotels or you go to camps and you sleep on the bottom bunk. That's your only option.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the bunk. It's about every entrance. Kids are going to get to walk or roll in next to their friends. It's no longer going to be the kid in the wheelchair has to go in the back door or the back ramp or the side way. it's going to be a camp where kids of all abilities get to experience camp just like every other kid, zip lining and skywalks and all together. And my favorite duo at ESP is Adam and Rod. And Rod is tall, beautiful, dark-skinned guy, and Adam is white as white can be in a wheelchair, and they are best friends. And one day the dream is for the two of them to be able to go in the dining hall together, to be able to both sleep on the top bunk and giggle as late as they want to at night, and to experience the joys of camp together. And that's really what Camp Hooray is about. And then you've got Java Joy, which we are starting to spread throughout the country.
I know, I hear that.
I mean, this mobile coffee cart is contagious, and businesses throughout the country want, you know, we've reached a really good place in our world when IT businesses worth $1 billion need people with disabilities.
I don't think people realize, but I grew up with a cousin that would have been the perfect ESP poster child. They are the most lovable. They have, this is what gets me, no inhibitions.
That's right. No filter. No filter.
Well, that's me, no filter.
That's true.
But I'm so overwhelmed when I'm in a grocery store and I see one of my little friends from ESP and they scream at me and they come and run and hug me like I'm the best thing they've ever seen.
And there's research that shows you need at minimum 8 hugs a day.
Wow.
Psychologically, you need 8 hugs a day just to exist. And they recommend 16 to 20 hugs a day. And that's what I love about my job is I get my quota every day.
I think I'm going to start coming every afternoon and getting my hugs.
But that's what's so neat about Java Joy is that you're right. I mean, no filter, no inhibition, just a unique, true...
they're pure.
Pure.
They are pure spirits.
Love for life.
Yes. They have no political agenda.
Yes.
They have no ulterior motive. They're
right.
just fabulous kids.
They are. And you know, that's what's so neat about Java Joy is we need them. It's not just about employing them.
So what if somebody wanted them to, what is Java Joy? What do they do?
So Java Joy is a mobile coffee cart that goes into businesses and organizations and serves coffee and transformative joy. And so with every cup of coffee here in town, it's Jittery Joe's. In other cities, we'll work with other local roasters. And you get your cup of coffee, and it's got a sleeve on it that says Java Joy on it. And then you get a hug, and then you get a little quote on a little card that you can put on your computer or up on your refrigerator. And my favorite thing is sometimes you don't even know you needed that hug, and you get it, and you're like,
oh, that felt so good.
I needed that, and I didn't even know I needed it. And so we are all around town. We're in Atlanta. It is a culture experience. It's a diversity experience. But more than anything, people just are, it's contagious. The joy is absolutely contagious. And people go back into their workplaces just filled up.
Happy.
And goodness, we know we need more of that in this world.
We absolutely do. But you call them joy-reasters?
We call them joy-reastas. So instead of a barista at a typical coffee shop, we call them a joy-reasta. And we have that trademarked because we didn't want anybody to take it.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they love their job.
It
says joy-reasta on it. I mean, I remember our first year wondering if these guys would get up at 4 a.m. and drive to Atlanta. And I tell you what, they were at summer camp with us, out late all day at camp and up at 4 a.m. to go work a job at summer camp because their job meant so much to them.
Wow.
And I think it's about having purpose. We say children and young adults, but I think every one of them are young in spirit. So it's just kind of who we serve. But if you still enjoy coming to camp and you still enjoy recreational programs and social opportunities, we want you there no matter how old you are.
And so one of your big fundraisers that I think is Martha really, when she started ESP, I mean, people just in the community gave her money. She didn't really have fundraisers.
That's right.
But you have created Big Hearts, which I think is the most unique, the most wonderful event that these kids could have. Tell us a little bit about Big Hearts.
Yeah. Big Hearts is an event that started in a small high school auditorium. I remember going to my board and saying, I want to do a special needs pageant. And they were like, what?
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? How could that be positive? And why would anyone want to come to that? Let's just try it out. And so we did. And I think we started with 20 ESP participants, and it's grown. Now we have over 70 ESP friends on stage alongside the football players.
Yep.
And Josh and Aaron Murray and Jake Fromm was one of our MCs last year. And they just shine on stage for who they are, not for their disabilities, but for all their abilities. And you cry and you laugh, and they're funny and unfiltered and beautiful. And then we raise money.
A lot of money.
We have a banquet and we raise a lot of money. And that is the beautiful thing, is that people show up for kids with disabilities. I mean, and people donate.
The thing that's so wonderful about it is these kids are so in love with their talent, whatever it is.
They are.
They're so happy to be on that stage.
Could you imagine if all of us were that in love with our talents and our gifts? I mean, what would this world be like if we were that confident in the way God created us?
When I see them marching through the audience with crowns on their heads and wands in their hands and tulle across their bodies, and they're so precious.
They are so proud. And there's all ages and all different abilities, all types of people from all different walks of life. And you know, my favorite thing about Big Hearts is when my friends come, or friends in the community come, and their husband's like, I don't want to go to that. I don't want to go to a special needs pageant. I don't want to go to a banquet and have to dress up. And then afterwards,
they want to come back.
And their husbands say, do not let me miss this ever again. I mean, the husbands the men love it just as much as the women do. It's just an experience.
It's
an experience. And this year it's on my birthday.
No, it's not.
It is on my birthday this year.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to be a party. February 15th, 2020. At the Classic Center.
It is going to be a big heart.
It is going to be a big heart. That is for sure.
Oh, that is
going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love you telling and riding with me.
Isn't this fun?
It is fun. I'm just cruising the neighborhood.
Well, I'm just thankful. Anything that we do, Barbara, you always are willing to put your thumbprint on. And why is that?
Because I love what you're doing, and I believe in it. And Laura, do you know how much I believe in you? I've believed in you since the first day you rang my doorbell. And you didn't even have a child then.
I didn't.
And I've watched you go through 3.
I'm so thankful.
And I'm so thankful you still want me. I think, this old woman can't do anything
else. I just feel like you have to have people that lift you up. And you've been one of those people from the very beginning that said, you can do it. You can be a mom.
Yep.
You can be a wife. And you can still make a difference, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that you've been there the whole way, and you better stick with me a little longer. Don't go anywhere.
Well, I'm not letting you quit, girlfriend. Let me tell you that. So if you have another successful year like we've had this year, do you think we might be able to finish the baseball field and start on Camp Hooray?
I think so. I think that's where we're at, and hopefully this time next year there'll be kids in wheelchairs and walkers playing baseball, not just on the other side of the fence watching their brothers and sisters. They'll be inside the fence walking out to a walkout song and seeing themselves on the Jumbotron screen.
Oh my God, I get chills thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Well, Laura, You are an exceptional woman in
You are
every
exceptional.
way. And I am not only proud to have you head of ESP, but I am so sincerely proud that I can call you my friend, because you're outstanding in every way.
Following in your footsteps, my friend. And you make me laugh along the way. I need a lot of laughs.